Hi everybody, welcome back to Jira hands-on training. In our last lesson, we explored the Scrum dashboard and saw how each section helps the team track their work. In this lesson, we'll start fresh by cleaning out the default backlog and the default sprint. We'll first review the structure we are using this team managed project. If we need any additional work item, we will customize them. For example, we'll add an analysis task since it is not included in the Jira by default. So let's move on our structure. So if you see here that structure on the top, we have Epic, which is high level feature of PHMS, as our demo project is PHMS as Fashion Health Management System. And then it's moving to the actually under this we need to create an story, break epic into the smaller pieces of work. So then we have to create analysis tasks, review requirements, and giving all technical feedback in this module. So these tasks will start actual teamwork. So and then subtasks smaller step under the tags or history. So let's log into our Jira. I already opened that. So and then clean up our default s- sprint. This is I have to select this first and then it will delete both. So this is actually our story. As you see this mark story now, that is actually default story. Let me delete those. Then I have to write down the delete. So it is deleting in progress. Process delete successfully. Now let's create an actually first we have to create a sprint now. We can create now a sprint because we don't have any item, but let's see, we don't have anything, so we have to have one backlog item. Then we need to create, so let me create first epic. Then this epic we can actually can tell implement fashion appointment management in PHMS. So let's write down this because we are focusing, we are starting with the product that first actually as a fashion, it's a huge system. So as a fashion, they need to do first getting appointment, manage their appointment, like those things. So what will be the summary, like high level? We can consider this as a requirement too. Like, so I have that in a separate. So I'm just not writing in detail, just putting in here, copy paste, and you can review this. But still, we can discuss some. Okay, build a complete appointment management capability enable. So that means enable fashion to book, schedule, cancel, and enabling provides the view or manage the schedule. So covers booking UI, backend API. So those things actually see how it is divided the work. So those things we break down into the story. So let me go to the down. So let me assign to me, and this is then level. We don't want, and see, this is our parent, so we don't have any parent. Epic is the main. So select the due date, so we can make it as a 5 week. So then start date, we can make this a 4. Okay, now that we don't have any sprint right now, so we have to create, and then so this is the important thing, story uh, point. Story point, it is actually how we determine these points. It's based on the complexity of the tasks, effort, and risks, or any uncertainty, and also team size, experience, or actually what is the focus time, interpretation. So those things is actually combined uh, to determine to what will be story point. Here we will do the 20 story point, because as you see our lot of tasks in here. So let me see, we have any version here. That's, yeah, we have one release. So let me put under this now, create. So we can change the color here even. So though this is actually green, we just started. Okay, so our first epic is created. If you see, the epic is here, but it is not still showing in under the dashboard, because we don't have any story, and we'll link that story. Okay, let me do that. Now create a story. So in a story we can say as a patient, as you say, as a patient I want to book an appointment online. So what will be the description? So what actually developer will do, that's, and developer, tester, and other team member will do that we are writing here. And what will be acceptance criteria for this story? As you see, patient can complete book end to end, receive confirmation. That is actually one acceptance criteria. So that also tester will validate this thing. So anyway, we'll come with those points, and you see implement the full booking, user follow the across UI and backend. So those now will break down into the task. So now let me, it's also assigned to me because we don't have any other user right now. This is, you can keep it medium. Now see, we can link our epic here. So this is also, you can put that start date, due date same as 5 week, and no level here. Start date you can same, and we don't have any sprint now, so we'll create one. So let me same we are putting, and that version is this one, create, and then create our first story. See, our story is created. Now actually we can move this story in here, and already story actually one is spinning here, so we'll let it rename this, edit this sprint. So we can put this sprint actually meaningful name. we can say that is sprint 1 discover. Okay, sprint 1, like we can say design and analysis. Okay, so 4 week, actually we mentioned there 5 weeks, so custom can do the 5, actually 4 week anyway. So that means it will start here, and sprint goal is, I can write down here, to design and analysis task. So okay, now as you see our under this sprint we have our epic. So in 20 days, actually that is story point. It is not days, actually it is point anyway. So we'll now create another task here. Excuse me. So this task, we can actually create couple of tasks here. So as we said, design, design, appointment, booking, UI, and we can do some description here and what will be acceptance criteria. It is in there. So this will go under we can keep it actually under that epic. So now that is due date, we can put 25. So you can keep the story point as sprint hour, and then assign to me same, then create the task. See, our task is here. So for example, if I want to create a subtask under this sprint, so what we have to do, I have to go to the sprint, and you see subtasks here. So for example, this is story assigned to me. So what I'll do, first I can can write down something, analysis the, or I can say the review the epic and related documents. So that's actually, this is could be my subtasks I started. As you see, it is now created. Now I'm going back to my dashboard, and you'll see there is a one subtask. You'll see something. The subtask is there. Child work to be implemented. If you click here, and you will see some of the subtasks in here. So now this is the one way we can create the subtasks. And now let me we already create one subtask. We created a story. Now let me add our analysis part. So how to do, because we don't have any analysis, so what I will do, we can create one work type, or we have already one, so or we can rename this. Okay, let me actually better to create one work type. I keep this custom name analysis task. Then work type custom, sorry, work type custom analysis task. And then here I can choose the icon. I can put here something light doing the analysis. Okay, so it's created. Now I can select the analysis. As you see, we have analysis tags. Now here, what we can create an analysis. For example, I can say here stakeholder interview. I can make it stakeholder interview and requirement tab. This is could be our one analysis tags, like, and then this will go under affix. So I'm not filling all of this information, just keep creating the analysis tags. And I want to show one more analysis tags, like here I can say like for example, I can say testing will analyze the testing team analyze this is the just I'm just setting one for tester testing team, so I'm not doing any other information here. So this is, so under this, for example, if I want to subtask for analysis team, so for example, what is it called? If I can want to create a subtask under this analysis, so simply click on open separate tab, or you can create in there. Just here also you can add a subtask. So here requirement test scenario identification. So simply we can write down this here, and it goes under this. So just click hit here and enter, and the subtask created under the requirement. If we go here our the main dashboard, you will see our one child. Same thing, we can create another subtask under the tax. So now we can, if see as you see, we don't have anything in here right now. Once we hit on the board, so board, as we discussed last time, this is the execution part. So now when we start the sprint one, and you will see that on will transforming that here. Okay, let's start the sprint. As you see, it's now everything here. Now we can move here, like, okay, what is the progress? As a question, okay, it's in progress. Tester is still not yet start, or so those everything. See, analysis also, for example, it is started. We can move simply in there, and so once is, for example, okay, now the analysis is in review. Now we'll add some other information in here, like approved and those things. So this is for today. We just learn how to create a quick history and tags and subtags using Jira. That's all today. Thanks for watching.